Hey friends, Lady Lee here with a recipe for honey fig cake. We are coming up in just a couple of weeks on a big Jewish holiday. This is it's called Rosh Hashanah, and it is basically the Jewish New Year. It's a big holiday for us, and it is celebrated traditionally with a lot of honey and apples. Not only it is harvest time, but also honey represent the sweetness that we wish for the new year. So it is traditional to make honey cake for this holiday, and this year I kind of decided to put a little bit of a spin on it and include figs because I just love figs, and we had a lot of them here this year. So I put those two together and came up with something really delicious that I want to share with you. We started with 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar and a cup of melted butter. You give this a mix with a hand mixer and then add the honey. If you see me over there, what I did is I oiled the measuring cup with just a kitchen brush and some oil, and then you put the honey in there, and then it's super easy to get the honey out. It just comes right out of the cup. So that's a little bit of a little trick that I learned that makes it so easy to add honey to a measuring cup and then get it out of there. Then we added some instant coffee. So 3/4 of a cup of water, warm water, and then you add 1 teaspoon of instant coffee and mix it together and add that gradually. Then add 3 eggs and then mix them in gradually. And then I sifted together 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. I put all of those in a strainer and then put it over a bowl and then just sift the flour and the other stuff this way. It's just an easier way for me to do that. And then we add the figs, and I also added dates and walnuts to this cake. All of those work really well together. My figs here are I got from a friend this year. I have a few bags of those frozen figs in the freezer, and I'll just use them throughout the winter to make all kind of cakes and cobblers and whatever. So just quartered them and then or diced them and then added them to the butter and then chopped some walnuts and dates. Dates go really well in this cake, but you can feel free to use whatever. If you don't have figs, you don't have to use figs. You can try things that work well here will be like cranberries or raisins will work really well. You can try with almonds instead of walnuts. So really there's different things that you can add here to make this cake extra delicious. It doesn't have to be figs. Then I'm using a bundt cake pan for this cake. I don't know why, it just comes out really pretty in a pan like that. Of course you can use 9 by 13 or even make it into like I think it will fit, like this amount of batter will probably fit in 2 or 3 bread pans. So that's another option for baking it. After 50 minutes, I take the cake out and I stick a wooden toothpick in the cake, and if it comes out, this time it came out very wet. So I did put it in for maybe another 20 minutes or so. So on the recipe on the blog, everything is on the blog. The recipe is there and all the ingredients are listed, and I'll link to it in the description below, so it's easy for you to access it, and you can print the recipe too. The recipe says 50 minutes. I think that 50 minutes will be better, will fit better for like bread if you do it in a bread pan or something like that. But for the bundt cake, it took a little longer, probably an hour and 15 minutes or something like that. So when I got it out, I just let it rest for a few minutes before I got it out of the pan. And I'm just putting a plate over the open side of the pan and then flip it over, kind of wiggle it around. I did oil the pan, even though it's a silicone pan, I did still oil it. And there it is. It is gorgeous. And what I'm doing right now is frosting, but I just do it for the purpose of this video. You can definitely make frosting for this cake. However, honey cake needs time to ripen, and I know this is a really hard and really difficult part, but really at this point you should let it come to room temperature and then cover it with plastic wrap or something like that and put it in the refrigerator for about 3 days. I know it's difficult and it's hard. It's actually really nice because, well, sometimes it can be really helpful because you can make it ahead of time for like a party or something like that. So a honey cake needs 3-4 days or so to ripen and for the flavors to kind of come together. Everything, the color becomes richer, the flavors become stronger, and it's really important to give it that time to ripen before you serve it. But for the purposes of this video, I went ahead and made a simple frosting from cream cheese, honey, and some whipping cream, and then we tried it right away. It's still good even if you serve it right away, but it will be much better if you let it sit for 3 to 4 days before you serve it. That's it, guys. I wish you a happy holiday if you are celebrating, and thank you for watching. I hope you like this recipe.
No.